Welcome to Own the Feeling Level Up podcast channel that I am committing to once per week. My name is Tony Martinez. I started this channel over a year ago, and like most, I felt the imposter syndrome slowly creeping in. So, like many, I'd back off. But recently, I've been motivated by my son and all his participation in the game, and as well as all the other kids, opponents, and teammates that take on the proverbial stage of life, put themselves in the line of fire, and make themselves vulnerable, right? Vulnerable to failing. And you're going to hear me talk about failing because failing is part of this game. And I, as a coach, believe that if we talk about failing and we give our kids permission to make mistakes and to fail early, fail often, fail fast, that it gives them the ability to then relax and somehow feel themselves into their best potential. Right, they can then tap into their best potential once they've been allowed the ability to fail. Think about it. What if you were given the ability to take on more risk at work, regardless of what you do, and no matter of the outcome, you couldn't be fired, you could not be demoted? How much freedom would that allow you? How much freedom would you feel? How much differently would you approach your day-to-day tasks? how what would you do? What, right? Like what? And so once you answer that, you start figuring it out. This is my hitting my coaching approaches with kids. This is what I tell my son, that it's okay to fail. You're going to fail often. When he makes a mistake, he kicks a ground ball, he throws it away, he strikes out, he gets jammed, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's part of the game. It's going to happen. Let's go. We keep moving on. So again, I started this channel over a year ago. Bear with me. I'm trying to read off some notes, but I'm not trying to read word for word because otherwise that would suck. So I am trying to hit some points. So I am trying to commit to once per week podcast all things baseball, in particular hitting. I believe hitting, as you guys know, is the most coveted part of the game outside of pitching. I'll also cover defense, as that was uh, my best thing coming up as a baseball player, in particular ground balls, infield. And then I want to talk about something that I really love, which is the game within the game. Okay. Another thing is my way may not be your way may not be my way, but I am mature enough to hear your way out, and I ask that you afford me the same courtesy. So, with that said, let's get into action. One other thing, if I ever come off of some sort of expert, please forgive me. I'm not an expert. I'm just a baseball dad who played a little bit of baseball at the junior college level, and I became very familiar with failing. So if there's anything that I'm going to give a master class on, it's going to be failing. So here we go. Like many baseball dads out there, I became very involved with my son's participation in the game, so much that I found myself diving in headfirst into his potential, into human development. I dove in headfirst into his potential, and I approached this from a human development standpoint. I did a lot of research on how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, how to rest, when to rest, how much to rest, circadian rhythms, frequency, sound. I mean, I really dove in. And the reason I did it was because I felt that this would have the biggest impact on his game as a baseball player. So, for today, what I want to talk about is the most coveted part of this game, which is hitting. And I know there's a lot of information out there on hitting, but I'm going to tell you what I believe hitting is and how to get your child to find their feeling, right? Because hitting at the end of the day is a feeling. You have to feel the rhythm, you have to feel yourself into rhythm. But with that being said, there are a couple of things that you must do as a hitter if you're going to have any kind of success at the dish. Number one is you want to be very relaxed. I heard Doug Latta, who has got he's great. He's a great baseball instructor, and I found him online. You want to be out of the shoulders, right? You don't want to be in the shoulder business. You don't want to be all tight. This is not good as a baseball player. You want to be relaxed. You want to have relaxed shoulders. He said it in a way that it clicked with me. And that's another thing. There's going to be a lot of people, different people, maybe not myself, maybe the guy next to me, that person. They say something and it just clicks. It clicks with you. Sometimes as parents, we can tell our kids something, but it doesn't register or they don't want to hear it from us. Here comes along this another person, another coach, tells them pretty much the same thing you are. And now he goes, that makes a lot of sense. Yep, yep. And you're like, wait a minute. I told you that numerous amount of times. Very true, dads. But sometimes they want to hear from somebody else for whatever reason. We are that way. We have that son-dad relationship. And that relationship thing is always there. That's the cause of many son, father breakups, hardships, reunification. Just be patient. If they, at the end of the day, does it matter that they heard it from you or heard it from somebody else? At the end of the day, it's about getting it right. If you're so caught up in just being right over getting it right, there's going to be tension, there's going to be conflict. Let's agree on getting it right. Who cares who said it, where we heard it from? Back to Doug Latta, he says, get out of the shoulders. So very relaxed shoulders. Number one. Number two is you're going to, right, come into this position. Your hands at some point got to come into this position here. Let me grab my big league bat. They got to come here. Boom. From here. I call this the waiter position. It's like a waiter, right? Imagine a tray. Boom. I saw this. A young prospect in the Dodgers organization. He's a lefty, and he was doing this from the left side. Thought that was awesome. It's a good analogy. Doesn't matter how you start, where you start. You start up here. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got to come here. You have to find a way to get here, hands back. As your foot goes forward, hands back. Number one. Number two is when that foot goes forward, you're creating that separation. As that foot goes forward, you want to make sure that you don't drift your hands as your leg goes forward. You don't want to drift. If you're drifting, I have the perfect drill to help you get out of that. Eliminate it instantly. One, the next thing that's going to happen is, here's the big thing, right? Here's what I tell everybody. The next thing that's going to happen from this point, I got a pinched nerve, guys. Forgive me. You're going to get here. Once you get to this spot, what I tell my hitters, the next thing that moves instantly, not the hands, is the knee. The knee buckles here. The knee, like you sit down on that knee. You sit down on that knee, and then this starts to go. Now the knob, don't get too knobsy, but the knob does play this role. The knob has got to point towards the pitcher. Hitters say you got to point down. Okay, you can go down. You can go down. You can point at the pitcher. You want your barrel here. Once you show the direction, don't keep pulling because then you become too handsy. Once you get it in this direction, now what we want to do is we just want to turn. Once we get here, all we want to do is turn. We want to turn with our torso and our barrel. Here, we're still connected. Here, you finish. You can't see my lower half, but I can actually, this is my foot. At this point, you can roll your foot forward if you like. You can spin off of it if you want, with this being your heel. These are your toes. You can spin off it. You can do what you want once you're moving correctly. Once you're moving correctly here, don't lose your barrel. If that knob goes up, you're dumping your barrel. You're dumping your barrel. What's this launch angle stuff? Yes, there is launch angle, but we don't create it. Not the way we think we do. A lot of hitters, they think we're going to create it this way. That's like a golfer trying to make the ball go up. Here, there, level. When you catch it out in front just enough, your swing, everyone's swing ends up slightly up. Ian Jackson, I think that's his name. I found him online. Said it the best. I'll give him credit. The first time I heard it, he said home runs are accidents because you're constantly just trying to hit a line drive. Don't lose your barrel. Don't dump your barrel. Trying to hit a line drive that eventually you catch it out in front, just a bit as your bat's starting to go up. So we do come down and then we go up. So is the bat swing coming down or is it going up? Can you say both? Actually, three. It comes down, then it levels out, then it goes up. Most important part is make sure that you stay connected to the torso. Stay connected to the torso, you come from the back. A lot can happen. The swing is very forgiving if you are able to keep your hands back. Keep your hands back, keep your hands back, keep your hands back as long as possible. I tell my hitters that this is the last thing that happens. The hands is the last thing that happens. Okay? Last thing that happens is the hands. So we got, get out of the shoulders, nice and relaxed, right? If you can, hold the bat in the fingers. Hold it in the fingers here. I tell kids, hey, it's like you're playing Fortnite. You lay your bat on your fingers. You got my trigger finger here, and then you just pick it up, and that's it. You should be able to feel your bat in your fingers. There. Not deep in the palm. Here. Okay? You'll feel it. And you do the same. Feels weird, but what that allows is when you get to this point, just snap. You do what you want. Push here, boom, snap. Anyways, it's a nice relaxed. Feel the tension. You can see the tension being built up here when you get into this spot there. That's what you want. And if you're not going to lose the barrel, what are you going to do next? My knee's already pointing to the ground. My right knee's pointing to the ground, which creates this tilt. Okay. So we got the good balance. You can be open, you can be closed, your hands could be up. It doesn't matter. You're going to eventually come here. You're going to find a way. You got to find a way to get your hands into this spot right there. So do what you have to do to get your hands there. Whatever you want. You want to start here? This is a good drill right here, right? I call it Tai Chi. You might call it whatever you want. You start with your hands here. Soft toss. I do a lot of soft toss or on the tee. Start here. Pump those hands up. Look how I sit down though afterwards. Boom, sit. Point that knob, and then we turn. We turn together. So we got the balance, got the hands back. When you are then going forward with your leg, make sure your hands stay back. So it's not a here, it's more of a the foot goes while the body stays, right? If anything, you reach for the ground with your front foot without moving your upper body, right? To feel for the ground. And then instantly what's happening next is the knee, back knee, is going into the ground while the hands hold as much. Hold. You create that rubber band effect. And then you turn. Any questions? All right. See you next time. Actually, that is a lot of information. And I just wanted to get that out in the open first and foremost so that you know where I'm coming from. You can attack me, you can jump with me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. What I am going to do is I've got a cage out here in the back. My son's out there hitting right now. We have a lot of stuff recorded. What we're going to do is we're going to break down a lot of these recordings. We're going to break down some some struggling hitters, some good hitters, both at the amateur level and at the professional level, so that we can all begin to try to understand the movement. You know, I refer to it more as a movement than a swing. If you can get your body to move correctly, you're going to start seeing a lot of good results. So, with that being said, stay on it. This is Own the Feeling, Level Up. My name is Coach Tony Martinez. I'm located in Southern California in the Inland Empire. And we will see you here soon. Take care now.